So team, first of all, a very good evening to everyone. So today is day two. My name is Ayush and I will be your instructor for this entire session. And today we are going to start with the day two. Okay. So in day two, we have like agenda. In day two, we are going to discuss about IAM, threat detection tools and infrastructure protection tool. Okay. And tomorrow we are going to discuss about data protection tools and KMHS and HMS. Cool team. So we have to start with our first topic, that is IAM. So team, like before starting with the IAM, okay. So before starting with the IAM in AWS or in perspective of cloud, I want to tell you like what is IAM, right? So then we can start. Cool team. Okay. So now team, we have something called as IAM. That is called as identity and access management. And team, like this is the important topic. I will tell you like in AWS or like in cloud service provider, these things are really important. So team, like we are going to start with the first topic, that is identity and access management. So team, like first of all, we have a word that is called as identity, right? We have a word that is called as identity. So team, first of all, I will tell you what is identity. Identity is like we all are having something called as like Aadhaar card, driving license, right? So this is called as identity. We all have identity. Like my name is Ayush. We are having Renju. We are having Sheetal. We are having Srinivas. We are having Anand Raj. So it's like this is our name, right? We this is called as our identity. So identities are like entities, right? Nothing else. Identity is for identifying. Cool team. Second thing in IAM we are having is called as, we have something else that is called as authentication. Okay. So team, what is authentication? Authentication is the process of verifying and identifying. Okay. Is the process of verifying. So now I'm just going to tell you one thing. Okay. Now if someone stop you at the signal, okay, that like a police pen, okay, and they ask you like show me your identity, who you are. So you have to show something called as your Aadhaar card, your driving license, right? So for these things, like what policeman has done, he has just asked you like for authentication, like just to verify that who you are, right? So authentication is the process of verifying. Okay. So team, now if I wants to log into my Gmail account, so what all things I need? I need something called as username, right? I need username. I'm just giving username as Ayush. Then I need to give password, right? So they will ask me password. So what I need to give, I just need to type my password. Okay. So this is my password. So first thing is that this is I'm claiming, right? This is identity. Okay. So this is called as claiming. I'm just claiming that I am Ayush. Okay. So now they are just authenticating. They are just asking me, okay, so if you're Ayush, if you wants to access this account, so let us just provide your password, right? So what will happen, team? When you write password to verify the claim after using the username and password, what will happen? This request will be taken to IAM and allow or deny will be taken on the basis of data. If data you have provided is wrong, then you won't be able to access this account. If you have provided the data, then you will be able to access that Gmail account. Cool team. Team, this process is called as SFA. Okay. This process is called as SFA, that is called as single factor authentication, right? If you're just having username and password, okay, and you are just using only these two things, so it is called as single factor authentication, right? Then team, we are having something called as MFA. Okay. Then team, we have something called as MFA. Okay. MFA is multi-factor authentication, right? So what is multi-factor authentication? In multi-factor authentication, we are having three things. That is something you know. Okay. Something you know means you're having PIN, password, right? So this is like something you know. Then second thing we're having, team, something you have. Okay. Something you have. So what we are having, okay, So in that we are having OTP, right? We are having certificates, okay? Then what we are having key files, right? I will show you what are key files. We are just using this for logging our instances. Like we are using key files in so many places, okay? Then we have third thing, that is something you are. That is biometric, okay? It can be anything like your thumbprint, your voice recognition, your retina scanner, okay? So this is MFA. So team, like for having MFA, you should have at least these two, okay? If you want to have MFA, so you should need to have at least two. Like for example, I'm having username, okay? Username is just for identifying. Then I'm having something called as password, okay? So till this is it is single factor authentication, right? Then team, if I am providing OTP, then what is this? Then team, it is multi-factor authentication, right? I am having this as well, like password, any of this from, and from this category I am having OTP, okay? So this is called as multi-factor authentication. And in multi-factor authentication team, it's not that you have to have at least these two. You can have all these three as well, right? You can protect with password, then you can have key files, then you at last you can use for, you can also use biometrics, right? So this is called as MFA. So team, now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to show you how to enable MFA in your AWS account. Cool team. So today, like I'm just going to start with the lab, and I'm going to show you how to enable MFA in your AWS account. Okay. So team, for that, what you need to do, go to your AWS account. You just need to sign in with the username and password. Okay. Now team, if you want to enable MFA, just click here in Cloud Ranger. Click here in security credentials team. Okay, click on security credentials, then you will be here in MFA. See team, can you see like MFA? So you need to use like MFA, right? Okay, so how can I use this MFA? So to activate MFA in your AWS account, you just need to click here activate MFA. Now team, before doing all this, I want to show you something. Okay, like MFA in AWS. Okay, so team, always prefer like these HTTP link, right? AWS one. Okay, so team, if you want to enable MFA, you need something like that, right? Like tokens, like you need some app site for this thing, right? Multi-factor authentication. So team, if you're using Android, so you can go for like any of these things, like any of these software, or if you are using iOS, you can go for this one. So team, for this lab, I am going to use Google Authenticator. Team, you don't need to worry about like how we are going to use this app. You don't need to do anything. You just need to open your Play Store, open this, and you can easily use this. Team, if you have used Symantec in your organization, right, for signing in your some accounts, so same way we have to do here, okay, right? So I'm just showing you how to enable this. So this is my Google Authenticator. I have already uh, what I have done, I have already installed in my mobile, and I'm just going to show you how to enable MFA. Cool team. So for this, just let me open my Google Authenticator in my phone. I have done it. So team, now what you need to do, after just clicking here activate MFA, you just need to give right name here. I'm just giving MFA only, yeah, or demo MFA. It's nothing else. You just need to provide a name. Cool team. Then team, what you need to do, okay, then team, you just need to select any of these three devices. So it can be virtual MFA, it can be security key, it can be other hardware MFA devices. So it's your choice, you can go for. So like other like security key, you in this you have to use like some called as YubiKey key, FIDO security key. If you're having some physical key as well, like a pen drive, so you can use this as well. Okay, so team, for now I am going for virtual MFA. So you can see here like authenticator app installed on a mobile or device. Okay, so I am going for virtual MFA. So just click on continue. And team, what you need to do, you just need to click here show QR code, and you just need to scan QR code from your mobile phone that you used to do with your with Google Pay or Phone Pay. Same thing you have to do here. You just need to scan here, and you just need to provide one MFA code. It will be just appeared on your phone. So I've just given here. Okay. Then team, just wait for some amount of time and just give another MFA. Okay. So this is my another MFA. Then click here, assign MFA. Team, see, can you see here? The virtual MFA will be required during signing. So now I will show you like when I am signing in, now I just need to give MFA. Okay. So for that, sign into the console. Now they're asking for my email ID. I am using this. Then I need to give password. Okay. So team, this is my password. I'm just writing down here. Then click on I sign in. Team, now it's asking me MFA, right? So now I just need to give MFA that is on my Google Authenticator app. So I'm just providing this one. Then finally submit. Okay. Now they're also asking me like for the security checks, right? So sometimes it sucks, sometimes it's not. But if you have enabled MFA, it will also ask that. Okay. So I'm just typing it down. Submit. Okay. Just give me a second, team. Okay. It's asking me a password if I have provided wrong. Just give me a second, team. Okay. Now I'm just giving MFA again. Submit. Okay. So team, when everything is fine, then only you will be able to sign in, right? So by this way, you can secure your AWS account, right? By enabling MFA. Cool, team. Now I will show you like how to disable it, team. Like if you don't require it, you can disable it. Just click here. Okay, click on security credentials. Now team, click here on MFA and nothing, team. Just manage and remove. Nothing else. Okay, remove. So now MFA has been removed from my account, right? Cool, team. This was like MFA. Now team, we have like some other terms to discuss. Okay, so that are authorization. Okay, so team, like what is authorization? So like authorization is defining the level of access. Okay, so now in your organization, if you're working as a junior developer, okay, so you might have access to just code or deploy, like you just need to have access to the code, right? Now if you want to move that code from one environment to another, you won't be able to do that, right? So for that, what you need to do, the team, you just need like for this will be done by another team, right? Like they can be like DevOps team or they can be RCM team. So team, by this way we are having like defined level of access, right? So we are just defining the level of access, like what this person will be able to do or not. Okay. And team, in IAM we are following something called as principle of least privilege. Okay, this is really important, team. Principle of least privilege. So what does this mean, team? This means, team, like uh if my person, like I have, this person is required to just write a code, so I will give him or her the same amount of access that he needs to do his job or do her job. So if you follow the principle of least privilege, it means that you are giving only the minimum access to the users, right? So you are just giving the same amount of uh, the only amount of access that is required to that person, that he or she can do their work. Okay, so we are just following the principle of least privilege, right? Then team, we have something called as accountability. Okay, then we have something called as accountability. Okay, so team, what is accountability? Accountability is like, team, we have log files in our system, like in our organization, right? So why we are having log files, team? We are having log files to check like what is done by whom. Now for example, like some of, like I have given access to some of you, like we are doing some project, and if someone has done wrong, like by intention or by accidental, so he or she may not deny that I have not done it. So if you have logs, you can show them tomorrow, right? You have done this. So this is called as accountability. Cool team. Now team, we are going to discuss that is called as IAM in AWS. Okay, so what is IAM? So team, IAM is the identity and access management is an AWS service that enables you to provide fine-grained access control to interact with your AWS service on behalf of your account and interact with AWS services created in your account. So team, first of all, let me tell you what is service and what are resources. Team, service are like EC2, right? S3, RDS, right? Then resources are instances, buckets. Cool team. So this is the difference between service and resources. Now team, whom we are providing this fine-grained access to the users and groups. Okay, I will show you like how we are going to create users and group, right? Cool team. And team, it is a web service that allows you to security control individual access and group access. So team, I am just creating users in my account, and these users will be able to securely access my account, and I can just give them as much as permission they are required to do their job. Okay. Then team, we have something called as like two over here, like authentication authorization. So by authentication, it means that when I will be creating a users, I will be creating a separate username and password for them. So using that, they will be only going to access my account, not other things, right? Then authorization means team, I will be giving them permission. Like this person can only access my S3 service. This person can only access my EC2 service, right? So this is called as authorization. Cool team. Then team, we have something called as users. Okay. Team, what are users? Team, users are not separate accounts, they are users within your account. Okay, they are not separate accounts. Okay, like I'm not having like different AWS account. These are the users within our account. Like I am having like this account right now. Okay, now if some of you like I'm just going for a project. Okay, and I have just asked you, some of you guys, just please uh join me on this project. Okay, so you all are agreed. So what I can do, I can just give you my username password, right? But this is not good practice. So what I can do, I can just give you I can just create user here in this account only, and you all can simultaneously use this account using your separate console. And I will tell you, like I will show you by lab, like how can we do it. Cool team. So that are users. Okay, so users can have its own password. Then team, like each user can have its own password for access to the AWS management console. Okay. Then team, we will represent the person or service accessing your account. It consists of name and credentials and usernames and ARN. So I will show you team like what all things are these, like how we can create name and credentials, what all things they will be having. Team, like now another thing that we are having is called as IAM groups. Team, like IAM groups are nothing but we are just organizing our users into a group. Now, for example, team, I'm having 6 developers, right? Or I'm having like 3 developers that are Sam, Tom, and John. Cool team, I'm having like 3 developers. So what I can do, I can just create a group for them, right? Like we are doing in our organization, right? For like each and every team, we are having different groups, okay, for communication. So I'm just going to create a group and going to paste them here. So these 3 users will be have their same identity and they will be under this group that is developer. Then if I want to have like another group that is tester and I want to have like some other persons, I can just add them there. Or even if I'm having another account, I like another group, I can add same persons as well. It's not that same you like one user can have only one group, they can be attached to multiple groups, right? Like in you like for like I will give you a very layman example here. Like in WhatsApp, right, we are having different groups. What we are doing, we are just like attaching all these users, right? Like our friends or circle, we are having multiple groups. So same way here we can have multiple groups and same person can be added to the multiple groups as well. So this is the concept of groups. Okay, so now team, like we are having one more thing here that is called as we like then team, we are having like users or groups can have multiple policies attached to them. Okay, so we have like different policies. So what is policy team? Policies are nothing but these are the piece of code, okay, that are written in JSON language. And team, today I'm just going to show you how to write a it's more like your own permission using JSON document, right? JSON language. And I believe that after that you can write any policy. Okay. Then team, groups cannot contain, like groups can only contain users and group, and it cannot be nested. It means that team, if I have created a developer group, so inside this developer group I cannot make any other groups like Java, okay, like .NET. So I cannot have like nested group. I can have only groups, and inside these groups I can attach or I can add users and policies. Okay, team, policies is permission that I am going to show you. Okay, so now team, we are having something called as IAM policies. Okay, the basic tool for granting permission in IAM is the policy. Okay, so team, okay, let me do one thing. Let me explain force user how to create user and groups, then we will continue with policies. Okay, so if you want to create users in your account, so how can you do it, team? You can do it by just clicking here on like IAM, select your service IAM, and first and the foremost thing, team, IAM is a global service, and second thing is that it's free of cost, so you can use like in whatever manner you want to. Okay, so already I'm having one user, so I'm going to delete this. Okay, and I will show you from the basic level like how we can create users. Okay, so team, how can we create users? For that we need to click on add users. Okay, now team, I just need to add here, right? Okay, user's name. So like for now I'm just taking username, like I'm having a user Jack John. Okay, then I'm having another user that is Sam. Okay, then I'm having another user that is called as Tom. So by this way you can have multiple users. Okay, you can add multiple users at the same time. Cool, team. Then what I can do, like now there are like two things like access keys and secret access keys. So I will show you these things, okay, later on when I will be just discussing roles with you guys. So for now we are just providing password to them. Okay, so I will just select this. Now team, you have like how you can give them password. So first thing is that you can auto generate password for all these things, or we can use a custom password for this. And I'm just going to give you a password and use this thing, right? This is called as required password reset. It means team, like whenever you will be just signing in for the first time, you need to just create you a new password, right? So I am just disabling this and I'm just giving password here. Okay, so I'm just doing password here. Okay, just give me a second, team. Now team, by this way, like next permission. Okay, permission I will show you later on, team, like what is permission. So just review and create users. Okay, so right now you can see here, like this user has no permission. Okay, so create user. Cool, team. Now team, I am having three users. Now I will show you like how you can log in using these users. Okay, so first of all, you just need to come here, and if you want to act like log in using any of this user, how you can do it? You just need to click here, team, dashboard, click here dashboard. Okay, now team, here you are having two things like account ID, alias. You can use these things for signing in as an IAM user, but for now I will show you like, but if you want to give like seven like different password, you can, what you can do, you can add only single username here right now. Click here password and custom generate password and just create user. Then after some time, like after again create a user, then they will be having different password. Or you can just enable this one, right? So whenever like this person will be logging for the first time, they will be able to just change their password, right? Cool, team. But for now they will be having the same password, but if you want to change, you can change it on later on. Okay, so right now I will show you like how to log in. So for that you just need to click here on dashboard, and team, you just need to copy this. Okay, copy this URL. Okay, then just you just need to open another window. Okay, you can just go for incognito mode, or you can just use another web browser, so it depends on you. So I am just pasting my URL here. Okay, Now team, I just need to give username. So I am just giving username as Sam, and just let me check. Okay, this Sam, and I just need to give password, right? Okay, I am just giving here password. Okay. Now team, by this way you can just log in as a user. Now can you see the team? Like here now it's showing me as a Sam at the rate Cloud Ranger 1, right? So it means that this is not my root account, this is my user account, right? This is my root, this is not my root account, this is my user account. Okay, so by this way I can log in. Now team, I will show you like another method as well. Okay, now if you don't have this link, okay, so what you can do, just click here. Okay, just click here. Then team, it is asking you like account ID or alias, right? See what you can do, you can just copy URL from here. Okay, from your dashboard, copy this and open new incognito window. Okay, or you can just use another console as well, like you can uh, create like you can open another web browser. Now click here on new incognito window, paste it here, hit enter. Okay, now team, if you like, what is the difference between here? The difference between the link and other thing is that like if you're using the link, you don't have to just remember account alias, right? Your account ID and account alias when you're logging other IAM users. Now you can just type here like this is my username Sam and just give password here. Okay, I'm just giving password here. So this is the URL. Okay, you can just try it on your own, but you won't be able to do it because you don't have username and password right with you. Now team, another way you can just do it, okay, to log in as a user. How can you do it? Okay, I will show you, like there is another way as well. Like what is another way? Team, like for another way, you just need to go here in your root account. Okay, can you say like account ID or account alias, right? So you just need to remember any of these two. Okay, so now I have just used this one, right? Cloud Ranger, because this is really easy to use. Okay, so I have created alias. If you open your account, you will be having both these things similar, right? Your account name or your account alias will be same as account ID, but you can edit from here. Okay, now I will show you like how can you log in here. So you just need to remember here your this alias name, right? So this is Cloud Ranger 1. Then you just need to give name here, that is Sam, and just type password here. Cool. Then click on sign in. See? So in these two ways you can sign in. Either you can use URL or either you can remember your account alias. Cool team. So now this for user. Now how to create groups, okay? So for creating groups, you just need to come here. That is called as user groups, okay? So click here. Right now, I am not having any group. So for creating group, you just need to click here, create group. And team, you just need to select user. Okay, so you can select only these two or you can just select all these. Okay, it depends on your choice. So I am just selecting these two for now, and you just need to provide group name. So I am just giving a group name as DevOps. So these two users are will be working as DevOps. And team, you can attach permissions, right, to groups and users as well. Okay, so don't worry, we are just going to cover this. So create group. Okay, see now my group has been created. So when you will open this group, okay, so whenever you're going to open this group, you can see that you are having two username. Cool team. So by this way you can create users, you can create groups. Cool team. Then I will show you like what is the most important thing here team. Like this is, I will tell you, IAM is the super important topic in cloud in AWS, and the permission part is also. Okay, so let me tell you like what is permission. So team, the like if we talk about permission, that are policies. Okay, so the basic tool for granting permission in IAM is the policy. So team, policy is a document that defines one or more permission. Okay, So what is what is policy, team? Policy is a document that defines one or more permission. So team, by default, the user can't access anything in your account. Cool, team. Whenever you are just creating a user, he will not or she will not be able to access anything. Okay, so this is my AWS, like this was my user account, right? So I am just moving to my Mumbai region. Okay, just give me a second, team. So this is my Mumbai region. Now, team, if I wants to move to, like, I want to use EC2 service. Okay, so can you see that, like, API error when I'm going to, like, you are not authorized to perform this operation. So why I'm getting this error, team? Because by default, like when we are just creating user, and if you're not attaching any policy or if you're not giving any permission, so by default AWS will be considering this as deny by default. Cool, team. This will be considered as deny by default. So by default the user can't access anything in your account. Then, team, you just need to grant permission through policies that define the effect, action, and resources. Okay, so team, don't worry about this. I will show you like what all these things are. Okay, so don't worry about this. Now, team, like any action or any resources that are explicitly already are denied by default. Okay, so if you're just mentioning anything by default, like you don't want this user to access anything, so you can use that is called as deny by default. Okay, team. Now, team, like IAM policies are global and applies to all area, all regions, all areas of AWS, and you can attach IAM policies to user groups and roles. Okay, so roles we will discuss later, team. So first of all, now we are going to I'm just going to show you how to write a JSON code. Okay, team, it's really important how to write a JSON code. So I will show you, team, like how to write your own policy. So for that we are using something called as JSON. Okay, so JSON stand for JavaScript Object Notation Format. Okay, so now, team, I will be showing you how to create a policy. So team, policy will always be started with like curly braces. Okay, then, team, what you need to do? Okay, then, team, what you need to do? You just need to mention here, right, version. Okay, first thing you just need to mention here is version. So team, this version is not the version of your policy. Okay, so this is not the version of your policy, this is the version of your code. So when this code was written, okay, this JSON format code, so this is that policy and it will be remaining the same for every piece of policies, right? So I'm just mentioning it 2012, so this will be remaining same for each and every one. Cool, team. So first thing that we need to give is version, team. Okay, so this is my version. Okay, then, team, what I need to give, then what I need to write, then I need to write statement, team. What is a statement? A statement will be considering three things: action, effect, and resources. And I will tell you what all these things are. Okay, so just type here statement. Okay, team. So this is statement, and just use this here. And team, here we are using this comma, right? So why we are using this comma? Team, we are using this comma for continuation. So if you skip this comma, it means that your policy ends here only. It will not process other things that is written behind below. Okay, so now in statement we are having three things. So what are these three things are, team? First one is effect. So what is effect? Team, effect will tell you like whether this policy is going to be like allow or deny. Cool, team. Effect will tell you like if this policy is going to be allow, like if you are just allowing any like this user to use this policy, or deny. Okay, so I'm just typing here allow. Cool, team. Then what I need to give, I just need to give action. So team, what are action? Like on what all resources I want to perform, on which resource, like on which service I want to perform, it is called as action. Okay, you just need to mention here that is called as your service. Okay, so if I'm just putting star, it means that all actions. Okay, team. Now what I need to give, that is resources. Team, I have already told you the difference between service and resource. Resource means like S3 will be your service and resource will be your what? Your account, like your bucket. Cool, team. I just need to type here resource. So team, by this way you can write your own policy. This is in a JSON format. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go for like wildcard. So team, now what will happen? So whenever I am attaching this policy to anyone, right, to modify as per your requirement, right? And I will tell you one more thing, like this is the basic format you just need to learn, and you just need to make amendments like whenever you need your policies, right? Okay. Then team, we just need to give like effect, action, and resources. Okay. So like what this policy will do, this policy will give like version. Okay, this version will be same for each and every piece of code. So this version is not of your policy, this is a version of code when this JSON was written. Then we have a statement. In a statement we are having three things, that is effect, action, and resources. Effect will tell you like these policies allow or deny, and action will tell you like on which service we are going to perform this action, right? Then we have resources. Cool team. Now team, how these things are working, let me tell you. So this is the policy evolution logic of, okay, this is the policy evolution logic. So team, I have already told you, whenever you are creating a users decision, it starts as deny, like this user won't be able to do anything. Now if you are having any policies here, so what IAM will do, they will evaluate, okay, like what all policy I'm having. Like if you have 10 policies, so IAM will check what are all these 10 policies, and in this 10 policies, if you have explicitly mentioned deny, okay, explicitly mention deny means in this policy if you have written deny, so what will happen? First thing what will happen, they will just check deny permissions out of these 10. So it means that like if you're having two policies uh, uh, with a deny permission, so for these two will be explicitly denied. Then if you have any allow, then they will allow it, and if you haven't done anything, so by default it will be deny. Cool team. So by this way we are working here. Okay, so this is the policy evolution logic, right? Now team, I will just give you one more thing. Okay, now if you're having something called as S3, okay, deny S3 bucket 1, okay, and plus I am having another policy that is called as allow S3 full access. So what will be the total outcome? And I will tell you one more thing, like deny policy is the supreme policy. Cool team. Deny policy is the supreme. So what will happen? You won't be able to access this S3 bucket with a bucket and one, but you will be able to access other buckets. Cool team. So by this way, this policy and evolution logic work. Now team, I can see that like this, to read this code, it looks like pathetic, right? So how can you beautify your this code? So for this, you just need to go here, you just need to type here, okay, JSON formatter, open this one, okay, JSON formatter team, you just need to paste it here. See, by this way you can beautify your product. See, you have now proper spacing. Okay, so now team, I will show you like how to create a policy. Okay, so for that, you need to go to your AWS account, open this. Okay. Now team, out of these options, can you see here like policy? Okay, so select policy. Then team, after selecting policy, you just need to click here, create policy. Okay. So if you click here, create policy, then you have two options. So this is the method that you do, like this is a flow method, right? You just need to find a service, and if you're not good with the uh, coding part, so you can use in this way. Cool team. Now but I will recommend you, don't go for like visual editor. By mistake you can give like more permission. Okay, so I will recommend you go for JSON. So just paste your policy here, right? Now team, if I just by mistake, I'm just mentioning here, okay, so what will happen, it is showing me error, right? So what is the error? Either you can use this version or this version. Okay, so version will be the same for every code. Okay, so I will mentioning the latest one, that is 2012. Okay, Now team, first of all, you just need to paste your policy here, then add tags. So team, like add tags are optional here. So for now I am leaving. But team, if you're working in organization, I will recommend you always go for tags. Use proper tags, otherwise you will be facing lot of difficulties. Okay. Then team, just click here next review. You just need to type name here. So I'm just giving policy name. Okay, you can give any policy. So I'm just giving here my demo. Okay. So now I just need to give here my policy name, that is my demo S3 full access. Cool team. Okay. Now team, you just need to give here like your description. So you can just type anything. This policy will give this. Cool team. So this policy will give full access. Now team, what you need to do, you just need to click here, create. Okay. Uh, okay. So just let me write my demo, just a name, my demo policy. Okay. Then click here on create policy. Now team, my policy has been created. Okay. So now team, my see the policy, my demo policy has been created. Now what I can do team, if you want to attach a policies, you just need to type, you just need to find your policy. Okay. So these are user defined policies. So you can use this. Okay. Copy this, click on action and attach. Okay. Now team, if you want to attach this policy to any of the users, so for this what you need to do, select this, click on action and attach. Okay. So you need to just click on attach. Now you just need to select a user, right? So to which user you want to attach. So I just want Sam. Those this person Sam can now access my S3 like S3 bucket or my S3 service. Now let me show you like how these things are working. See, now it was getting an error, right? Okay, now I'm moving on to my service, that is S3. Just type here S3. Now team, see, now this is my user account, right? This is not my root account. Okay. So now team, I have given him permission to use S3. See, now this user can see my buckets, right? So these are my buckets. Okay, I'm just opening this bucket, and if this person wants to upload anything, he or like he or she can perform any action on this side, because I have given this user the permission of S3 full access. Cool team. So by this way, you can create users, you can create groups, you can write your own policy, right? You now you know like how to write a policy. You can just make changes according to a requirement, and you can do anything, right? Like people are really afraid of coding things. Okay, so you don't have to worry about all these things. You can do it by your own. Cool team. So this was policy, right? Now team, we are having another concept that is called as you like roles. Team, roles are really important. Okay, so what are roles? Roles are like users team. Please don't compare roles with the permission. People used to do that and really get confused. Okay, so please don't get confused. Roles are like users. Okay, team. Now for example, I have a scenario. Okay, so let me picturize things for you. Now team, I have a scenario for you for roles. It's really important scenario, and I will show you practically as well, like how we are using roles. And team, like most of the people are really confused with roles, and I will show you roles in a very easy manner with a scenario. Now team, for example, this is my server and I have hosted my application here. Okay, so this is my application here. Cool team. So this will be my application. So for example, I am just using AWS EC2. Okay, now team, for example, if I want to use like I'm having my RDS here. Okay, so like I'm having a database here. So now I have a question for like each and everyone here. Like if my application wants to access this database, so do I require username password of my AWS console? No. So if my application want to access DB2, so like not DB2, like my database, so what will happen? We need something called as, okay, so we can just hardcode credentials of username or like hardcode credential of endpoints and password of database. Now I have a scenario. This is my application. Okay. Now this application is creating lots of logs. Now what this developer wants, my developer wants to put all these data or all these logs file in S3. Now team, tell me like now will like now my developer needs to have AWS account, username and password. We require now username and password for this thing, right? Now team, if you want to access your AWS account, so there are like three ways. Okay, if you want to access your AWS account, so there are like three ways. Okay, so what are three ways to access your AWS account? Team, first thing is that you can just use GUI method that I am right now using, and you can just use username plus password, right team? Now if you have heard about like something like command line interface, CLI, so you can use that as well. Okay, that is called as GUI. Like I am just talking about GUI. Then we have like another method of accessing our AWS AWS account, that is CLI, that is command line interface. Okay, then third method is called as SDK, software development kit, and that is used only by developers only. Okay, for like API calls. Cool team. So for this, like we can account, like we can just access our account in these three methods. Okay. So team, when I want to access my like S3 bucket from EC2, so for that purpose we'll be using CLI, and for CLI we need something called as secret access key and secret access key. Okay. This is like a username and password. Okay. Secret access key plus secret access key. Cool team. So now let me show you by like let me show you like with example like how can we do it. So for this I will be showing how to launch a server. Okay, now I will tell you how can you launch your own server. Okay, for that, okay, I'm just going to show here. So this is my AWS account. If you want to launch your server, for that what you need to do, you just need to go here, that is called as your EC2 service, then click here in instances, then click here on launch instance. Cool team. Then team, I am giving my first server that is named as demo1, and I'm just selecting Windows. Okay, I just want to, okay, I will just go for Linux. For this I will be just going for Linux. Okay, so I will be just launching my instance on my server with the Linux AMI. All these things will be by default. Okay, now team, this is a key pair. We have already discussed like we can just log in using key pair, right, in MFA. So these are like key pair, like public and private, right? So I just need to give key pair name. Or if I want to access it like using third party tools that are putty mobile extend, right, so I can use that. So I just need to give here like my key pair. So I'm just giving name my key pair 1 2. Okay, I'm just giving one, then click here on ppk. So if you are going to use putty, so you can go for ppk, create key pair. Now team, just launch instance. Okay, so I have just launched one instance, so I will show you by example like how can I access all these things in a two-way, right? So now I will show you like how we are going to use roles in a different way. Okay team, now let me tell you like practical. Okay, just let me launch another instance. Now then I will show you like concept of roles. Okay, so now let me launch another instance, that is demo 2. I'm just going to select again the Linux. I'm just going to use same. Okay, okay, I'm just going to create new key pair. So just type here key pair name, key pair 2. You can just give any name according to your need. Create key pair. Cool team. Then click on launch instance. Okay, so now these instance will take time. to for becoming up and running. So till then, team, what I can we can just discuss about the concept of roles. Okay, so we are having the concept of roles here. So team, what is the concept of role? Now team, we know that like if my this EC2 instance want to access this S3 service, so for this what we need something called as username password, right? But now team, I am just going to use something here that is called as roles. Okay, I'm just going to use something called as here roles. And roles, what roles will do, team? Roles will give this like whenever like EC2 will try to access S3, this role will provide something called as temporary credentials, right? This role will provide temporary credentials. And team, why we are just going for roles? Now, for example, if like my S3 wants to like now my EC2 access like service or my developer wants to access S3, so what he needs to do, he just need to hardcode like username, password, or access or secret access key on their application, right? But what will happen, team? Like my application get compromised, then my S3 is also gone, right? My bucket, my whole data is gone. Or like this developer by any means like shared it with anyone like any other person, right? So we can't trust humans, right? So for this purpose, we are going for something called as rules. Cool, team. So we will be using here that is called as roles, and using roles, what will happen whenever this EC2 service wants to access S3, we will be just providing temporary credentials. This role will be like in the backend will be providing temporary credentials in the backend. I will show you, team, like how we can do it. Okay, don't need to worry. Like I will show you. So now, team, for example, this is my EC2 instance. Okay, so this will take time, team. So just give me a second till that it take time. Okay, let me edit this as well. It's not looking good. What we're trying to do here, like if my this application wants to access this application, for that we need to provide username and password of my AWS account. Now, team, I really don't want to do that. The reason is that I can't trust anyone. Second thing is that if you're going for like doing hardcore things, then you have to suffer. Like if your application is compromised, then you will be just in a trouble, right? So for that thing, what we are going to do, we are just going to now, team, let's do one thing. Okay, I think my instances are up and running. Let me check. Okay, so now let me just log into my this instance, right? So how can I log in? Just select this instance. Okay, so for that, click here on connect, right? So now, team, so how can I connect here? Okay, so like this is my EC2 like this is my first server. So how can I do it? Like there are like two ways. First of all, you can use third-party tools that are SSH, that are mobile extend, right? But for now, I'm just going to use my this console only. Okay, so just click on connect, click here on like connect, and team here like now I'm inside my EC2 instance. Okay, so now, team, I will show you like how things are working here. Okay, so first of all, I just now this is my EC2 instance, right? I'm inside my EC2 instance. Now, if I want to access my S3, how can I do it? See, for that I need to type AWS S3 ls command. It will list all my bucket. So team, it means that whenever like my one service wants to access like another service, then see, can you see like I am inside my EC2. I am just trying to access S3. So what it's going, what it's giving me error? It's giving me error unable to locate credentials, right? So team, you can configure credentials by running AWS configure. Okay, so now I need to give credentials here. Okay, so like same way, if you are having your application here, so what you need to do, you just need to hard code these access keys and secret access key, right? So for that, I'm just going to show you like how can you do it. Okay, so how can you do it, team? So for that, you just need to type here that is called as AWS configure. Okay, so just type here AWS configure. See, if I typed AWS configure, okay, I've just made some mistake. Okay, sorry for that, team. So team, now can you see that like it's asking me AWS access key. So from where I can get access key. So for that, team, you just need to go to IAM console, right? So from there, you just need to create access key and secret access key. So I'm going to create my secret access key and access key. for that, what I need to do, I just need to create access key. So how can I create? So you need to just move to your user, right? So I'm just gonna use this user. The reason is that team, I have already provided S3 full access to this user. Okay, can you see there like my demo policy? Okay, in this I have already provided a S3 full access, right? See, S3 full access. So that's why I'm gonna use this service. Okay, this user. So how can I just create security credentials? You just need to click here, security credentials. Okay, then create access key. Now team, you can use access key, this secret access key and access key. Okay, so team, don't share it with anyone, otherwise you will be in trouble. Okay, if you are using a root account, so you just need to paste here. Okay, paste here. Then see, it's asking me secret access key. So again, you just need to come here and use this secret access key, paste it down here. Okay, hit enter. Now team, it's asking me region. Okay, so it's your choice, you can give any region, but you can't write region name like Mumbai, any other name. So you just need to type here like this way, AP South hyphen 1. Okay, it means that I'm in Mumbai region. Then you are like, there are like two format, first one is JSON, second one is text. So I'm just going for JSON. Okay, now team, I have just given hardcore credentials. Now let me try one more time with the same thing. Okay, team, the word, can you read out the bucket name like Athena bucket 01 Athena lab, right? Now let me show you in my S3 as well. Okay, so if I go back to my AWS account, if I select S3, then I will be able to show you. Okay, so what all buckets are listed here. Okay team, so these are the buckets, see, same buckets like Athena bucket 1 Athena lab, right? Same bucket here, right? So how we are doing, we are just using credentials, right? So I really don't want to use these credentials. So for that, what I can do? Okay, so team, let me show you like how can I do that. For team, you just need to go to your IAM console. Okay, select IAM from here, team. Then team, if you want to create roles, can you see your option here, role, right? Click here, role. Then team, you need to just click here like create role. Cool team. Now team, for which service we are using, we are going to use like EC2, right? So select EC2. Cool team. Then click here next. Now team, here you can just assign like permission from here or afterwards also, but I'm just going to use this now. Okay, so I'm just going for S3 full access. Okay, so this is my S3 full access. Select this next. Okay, you just need to give a role name. Okay, I'm just giving role name demo Ayush EC2 S3. Okay, EC2 S3. I'm just giving this name, full access. You can give any name team. Then you just need to click here, create role. So by this way team, you can create a role here. Okay, now my role has been created. Now team, how can I use this role? Okay, so team, now how can I use this role? Team, after this, I'm just going to discuss some important topics that are Web Shield, right? So like this is the last topic we are discussing in IAM. Then we will be discussing about Web Shield, all this kind of stuff. Cool. Then team, come back here, like use click here EC2. Now team, I'm having like my another instance, right? So team, how I can, now I want to access this one, right? Now click here. Before that, I'm just gonna say that. So now let me just assume role. Okay, I've created a role. How can I assume here? Just right click here on security and modify IAM role. Cool team. Then can you see like what I have given name here, right? This is my role. Click here and update IAM role. Now team, I will show you like if I'm just going to use this service, I really don't need to provide any credentials. So click here on connect, click here on connect. Cool team. Click here on connect, then click here on connect. Now team, I'm just straight away typing AWS S3 LS. See, now without configuring anything, I am just getting my bucket name, right? So by this way team, like if you assume like if you're just using role, you don't need to hard code things, right? Cool team? Yes. So now it's clear. Now team, let's move forward with like some other tools. Okay. Now some other things that we are having in our AWS. That is WAF and Shield. Okay. So we are going to start with something called as WAF and Shield. So team, there is one more thing. You just need to clear all these things. Okay. So terminate, cool team. Now team, let's start. Okay. Now team, we are going to start with a new topic that is called as AWS WAF and Shield. Okay. WAF and Shield. Now team, first of all, starting with the WAF and Shield, I want to just give a brief of like about DOS and DDoS attack. Okay. So team, like we are like in cloud, we have like major threats like DDoS attacks, right? Because of global offering. So team, the primary goal of DOS and DDoS is to affect the availability, right? So what attacker will do? They will just launch a huge number of packets, okay, like UDP float, it can be SMP float, SIM float, right? What they will do, they will send you a lot of requests, okay. So why the attacker they are doing this? Team, like if like attacker will not be able to access to your account, what they are just doing, they will try to just try to just hit your availability, right, just to bring down your system, right? So for this purpose they are using something called as DOS and DDoS. Cool team. So what they will be do, they will be doing like they will be sending a huge number of packets, okay. And if your servers are not enough capable, so what will happen, your system will go down. And team, like if this attack is done by different servers across the globe, then it is called as DDoS attack. Cool team. So just to mitigate this DOS and DDoS attack, we have something called as shield, okay. So let us start with the shield team. We have something called a shield. So team, how we can use shield, okay? So for that, I'm just going to show here, okay? So type here, okay. So first of all, like what is shield team, okay? So this is shield, okay? Just give me a second team, it's taking time. So team, this is shield, okay? So shield is used to mitigate, okay? Okay, so shield is used to manage DDoS protection service, right? So what will happen, like if anytime, like if you are having DDoS or DOS, what will happen? Like shield will help you out with this thing, right? Cool team. So by this way team, like using door like shield, you will be able to manage all these things, right? See, can you say like where this shield is lying, right? So this is the architecture, right? So by this way, like can you see like where is load balancer lying, where is shield is lying, right? So now you are good with it, right? Now team, let's discuss about shield. Okay. So what is shield? So team, first of all, okay, so what is shield team? So shield will be helping you with the, and team, first of all, this is the fully managed service, you don't need to do anything, okay. So shield is a complete managed service, you don't need to do anything, you just need to subscribe here, right? So just click here, subscribe to the shield advanced, but I will recommend you don't do it. Can you see here the pricing part, right? So this pricing part is really horrible, right? So you won't be able to pay, right? So don't ever just click here, don't step it or like step up here, okay. So first of all, AWS shield is used for like uh, protecting you against the DDoS attacks, right? So team, like there are like two methods. First, like there are like two ways they are just providing you. First one is standard, and then there is something called a advanced, okay. So what is shield at standard team? So Shield standard is team. Okay. So what is Shield standard team? So for Shield standard, like it is just active monitoring, right? They are just doing only monitoring thing. Okay. They are just taking off their, say, for like their underlying infrastructure, right? They are not just taking off, taking care of your application and all these things. But team, if you want that to take care, like if you want like AWS take care of your application and other things, then go for Shield Advanced. And team, just they will do all these things for you, right? Like DDoS mitigation, customer detection and mitigation based on your application, right? So all these things they will be doing by themselves, you don't need to do anything. Team, then they will be helping you out with something called as 24/7 support, okay, from AWS Shield Response Team. So team, they will be having a dedicated support team for this, and you just need to go for it, right? Then you can just contact them like within 24/7, and they will be available for you guys if you are going for Shield standard, right? Now team, there is one more like good way, like there is one more benefit of going for Shield. Now team, what will happen? Okay, now for example, how Shield is working now, let me tell you. For example, this is my application here, right? So team, this is my application here posted. Now team, if like attacker wants to bring down my services, what it will do, it will just send me a lot of requests, right? So now team, what will happen, like if you enable auto scaling, when all these requests will come here, right? So your your scaling will be here, right? So scaling will be done whenever you are having lots of requests. So to uh, make your available things to your customer, to increase a high availability, so there will be a scaling, right? Now team, if you don't enable Shield, what will happen, you have to pay for all these scaling, right? But for example, if you have enabled Shield Advanced, then they will waive off all these things, right? So you have to only, you don't have to pay a single penny for this scaling, okay? If there is DDoS attack, you don't have to pay a single penny for this. So team, this is Shield, right? Then team, we have something called as WAF, okay? Now team, we have something called as WAF, okay? So what is WAF? WAF will just protect you from web application firewall. Okay, so WAF is web application firewall. Okay, so first thing is that WAF will WAF will be working on the layer 7, right? On like application level, and your security groups like your firewalls will be working on your network and transport protocol. Then team, where for this, okay, so what will happen in like WAF, okay, so like WAF is a web application firewall service that lets you monitor web requests that are forwarded to an your CloudFront distribution, your application load balancer, right? So WAF will be just checking all these requests. Now team, we can protect all these resources based on the condition that we have specified, right? We can specify IP address that you have mentioned there, right? So I will just show you how to create a rule, okay? So team, like web application will help you to protect from web application web common web exploits, okay? So let me show you how, okay? So for that team, what you need to do, okay? So you just need to click here like create web ACL, okay? Just type here my new WAF, okay? If you just select CloudFront distribution, you can just select anything, okay? Cool team. Then just give name again, my new WAF, okay? Now team, just click here on next. Now team, here are like rules, okay? So first of all, they're like add managed rule groups or my own rules. So first I'm just going to show you like managed rules. So I am having managed rules here. So what are my managed rules? Okay, so these are my managed rules. Okay, so these are from like AWS. Okay, so account takeover prevention. Okay, so whenever like your account has been hacked or something attack like attempt has happened, like it will save you from like brute force login attempts, all these things, right? If you have a like bot control, okay, they will help you out with all these things, right? And numerous IP lists, they if they are having a lots of IP lists, they if you enable this rule, all these things will be enabled, right? See, so by this way like SQL database, right? Like they will be helping you out with the, they will be protecting your application from the well-known vulnerability that is OSEP top 10, right? There are a lot of things, right? So you can like these are like what we call it like third party, okay? So these are like their partner one, like IP fraud detection, right? So by this way you can enable lots of rules. Now team, if you don't want to go with these rules, you can create your own rules. So I'm just clicking here add my rule. So here are like three types. First one is IP set. You can just use IP set to identify a specific list of IP address, okay? Then you have a rule builder, so you can just enable a rule builder, right? So I'm just giving a rule here, my rule. So I'm just going to use rule builder for this, okay? So team, now it's your choice, like if you go for like rate based, okay? So what is database? It means that you are just specifying that if it's like from a single IP I'm having like 10,000 requests, so block that. Okay, so you can just need to select here and you can just select block here. Now you can go for like a regular rule, right? If a request matches the statement, okay, what will happen? So I'm just going from a country, okay, so I'm just mentioning here something called as India. Okay, I'm just mentioning here India. So then what will happen if I mention India here? So if I just selecting captcha here, so what will happen, team? So whenever like the person from India is trying to access my application, they will be shown captcha, right? Or if you want to block that particular country, you can block them as well, right? And for that, you just need to click here like add rule. So by this way, team, you can create your own rule and you can save your application based on that. So this is right. Okay. Then team, we are having third thing that is called as AWS Firewall Manager. Okay. So what is AWS Firewall Manager, team? This manages rules in all accounts of an AWS organization. So team, first of all, there is a what we call service that is called as organization. So let me tell you something about organization. Team, like when we are working in organization, you, me, and all of us, then we have something called as firewall manager. Okay, so before discussing that, I want to give you a small introduction about organization. So team, what is organization? Like we all are working in some company, right? So what will happen? See, now if you're working in a company, okay, so I know that like they won't be using a single account, right? Single AWS account. The reason is that they really don't want to go for single point of failure, right? If my that account is down, what will happen? We have lost everything, right? So they are having multiple accounts on that. So like to manage that multiple accounts in organization, what we have a service that is called as AWS organization, right? So in that AWS organization, we will be creating an organization. With that, we'll be having one master account and we are having other member account on that, right? So by this way, we are having organization and we are all doing all these things. Now, team, if you go for like firewall manager, what will happen? Like whatever rules you have created in your all accounts, they can be centralized, they can be centrally uh, monitor, right, using AWS organization, right? So you can mention like any rules here like web rules, security groups, network firewalls. Then if you have Route 53 resolver, DNS firewall, so you can use all these things, right, using firewall manager. So it is just a centralized security management. Okay, so all these things that you can see here from the single way, right? If you don't want to go like in different account and checking what all things have been done, so if you want to enforce anything centrally, you can just go for this one. Cool, team. Then team, we have something called as guard duty. Okay, team, like like these topics are really important that we are discussing now. Okay, so now team, we are having something called as guard duty. Okay, team. So team, like in AWS, we are having something called as guard duty. Cool, team. In AWS, we are having something called as guard duty. So team, what is guard duty? So guard duty is like a threat intelligence tool. Okay, so it's a little bit advanced. Okay, it is like threat intelligence tool. So guard duty is a threat detection service that continuous monitors our AWS account and workload for malicious activity, right? And deliver detailed security findings for visibility and remediation. Cool, team. So what is Guard Duty? Guard Duty is a threat detection service that continuously monitors your AWS account and workloads for malicious activity and deliver detailed security findings for for visibility and remediation. Right, team? So let me open here. Okay, and team, like what Guard Duty is doing? Guard Duty is okay. What Guard Duty is doing, team? Guard Duty is just using like machine learning algorithms, okay, anomaly detection, third party data for like all these things. Cool, team. Then you can just enable it just using like a single click, and you can have like 30 days trial, and then after that you have to pay. And team, where they are getting all these data? So they are getting all these data from CloudTrail, they are getting from S3 logs, VPC flow logs, DNS flow logs, right? Cool, team. So this is my guard duty, right? So team, let me move to my one of the region, that is North Virginia. Okay, so this is my region team, North Virginia. So team, this is my sample findings, right? Now team, like we are having something called as guard duty. So team, these things are like sample findings. I have just brought like some of the sample findings, like how, what all things you can find here, right? Then team, we are having something here called as, right? They are like sample findings, okay? So for the team, okay, let me take all these things, okay? So let me just verify some of these things, right? Let me open anyone, just give me a second. So if you are just like this, if you get these kind of findings, what will happen? Like in this finding, you can see like it's a medium and API command used in defense invasion tactics were invoked by users, right? Then team, we are having something here called here, right? Okay, so for that, we have something called like some findings. Okay, so you will be getting all these findings here, right? Okay, so if you have like any unauthorized access, so for that you are just having like EC2 is performing DNS lookup that may indicate as a target of a DNS rebinding attack, right? So by this way team, you will be getting lots of things. Cool team. So by this way, you are having like these findings, and using these findings, you can just secure all these things, right? Cool team. So this is a guard duty. So it is a threat detection tool, and using uh, this tool, we can just do all these things, right? We have like lots of finding. We can just get all these things. We can get like S3 production, okay, and all these things. Cool team. So this is guard duty. Then team, we have something called as inspector, okay. Then team, we have like something called as AWS inspector. AWS inspector, okay. So team, like first of all, okay, we are like a vulnerability assessment tool, right? So team, like AWS inspector is just like a vulnerability assessment tool, okay? First of all, let me tell you like what is vulnerability assessment, okay? So vulnerability assessment is that team, like first of all, like let me tell you like what is vulnerability. So team, like there is a scenario, like I have a Windows 10 computer without password. So what is the vulnerability threat risk here, right? So vulnerability, okay? So like here, like in vulnerability, like in vulnerability is like no password, right? Like anyone can do it, right? Then we have threat, like unauthorized access, like if anyone can access like unauthorized access, right? Threat is like unauthorized access. Then we have risk, like our data privacy or like data can breach. So what is vulnerability team? Vulnerability is a weakness, right? So like in every in organization where you are just concerned about security, so what we are doing team, we do a vulnerability assessment too, right? So what is VA? The process of identifying known vulnerabilities is called as vulnerability assessment, okay. So for that we are using something called as team, like CVE and CVSS, okay. So let me show you like what all these things are. So we are using CVE and CVSS. We are using CVE and CVSS. So let me just type here, okay, CVE, hit enter, okay. So I'm going for this, okay. So okay, I'm just using, okay, so this one is Apache for, okay. It has by default open. This one is for Apache. Okay, team. So if I want to show you like there is a lot high risk, okay. There was one highest risk vulnerability. See, if you're getting the score of 10, it means that like this is like you just need to fix this immediately. And if you're getting like 0, 1 or 2, that you can just do it, like you can just neglect it or you can do it like afterwards. So team, like this is an serious one, right? Yes. Then like in this, what will happen team, like an attacker can access an improperly security default, okay, installation without authenticating and gain admin privileges, right? So in this without authentication, like attacker can gain admin privileges. So team, like these kind of vulnerabilities, if you are having like common vulnerabilities, so for that you can go for there is a tool that is called as Spectre. Cool team. So just select here inspector. Now team, I will show you like how to create a assessment here for inspector. So team, like if you want to go for assessment, so just need to click here get started, and team just go for like classing inspector. If you want to see things in detail way, just go for classing inspector. So I'm going for classing inspector. Now team, if you want to create assessment, how can you create? Okay. So now let me see like if I am having my anything here, right? Like if I am having any server running here, just give me a second team. Okay, there is no instance running. So let me launch a server. Okay, so this time I'm going for Windows as well. I will show you like how to launch a Windows server. So I'm just typing in a Windows. Just select your AMI from here. Okay, then team, like if you wants to log in, then team, like let me launch this. Okay, team, like first of all, let me show you like inspector and let me run this. The reason is that team, like until unless I am first of all, if you need to use inspector, so first thing you need to just install a agent, right? You know that concept. Like if you are like AWS will not be able to access your OS site until unless you give permission. I've already shown you, right? So for that, what we are going to do, we are going to launch or we are just going to install in like agent inside my this server. Then only we will be able to do it. Okay, I will show you like how to install a agent on this. Okay, so just give me a second, team. Let me just, it's still in the process of initialization. If I just make things if I do things in a hurry, so what will happen, team? Like it will show me an error. Okay, so just wait for a minute, team. So then we can, then I will show you like how to log in. And team, like if you wants to install inspector agent, so how can you do it? Okay, so let me show you like how can you do it. Okay, so just type here AWS, okay, EC2 inspector agent, and before that if you type Windows it will just okay, just type here, click here. Okay, then team, you are just going for Windows based, right? So click here. Then what you need, you just need to use this exe file. Okay, I will show you, team, just wait for a minute. So I think it's up and running. Let me try. Now team, I will show you like I will show you how to do RDP. So just click here RDP. Okay, then team, paste it here, connect. Now I need to give username password. How can I do it? RDP, this is my protocol that I'm using, then paste it here. Then if you need password, how can you use? I have created a key file, right? So you need to show your key file just to access it, right? So this is my download key pair, open, then get decrypt. Cool, team. So this is my password with me, right? So just copy this password, paste it down here and open. Cool, team. So what I have done, I have just done RDP here and I will show you like how to install an agent. Okay, 10 minutes up and running. Let me show you like how to install here. So first of all, you can use any browser. So I am using Internet Explorer. Okay, open this. Okay, then pay. Okay, now what you need to do, team, you just need to copy that thing, right? You just need to copy that I've shown you, right? That inspector link. Okay, it has gone, team. Just give me a second, it's here. Okay, I'm just opening this. Just copy this exe link and paste it there. Okay, let me show you how to do it. Now paste it here. Okay, okay. add. We need to install agent, then you will be able to do anything, right? Like this assignment will only work when you enable, when you just install agent, right? So do one thing, right? Now you have to do one more time. I will show you like how to install. Okay, add, close this team like it's just give me a second. Click here save team, right? Then you need to just click here run. Okay, I agree, install, close. Cool team. Then what you need to do team, just minimize this. Okay, go back to your console. Now I have just installed like agent, right? So now I need to create an assessment here. So how can you create an assessment here? Just click here. Now team, like there are like two options. Okay, first one is that in inspect, like there is a inspector agent is not required, and here it will be doing just network assessment, right? It will be just doing like analysis to check for ports reachable from outside VPC. All these things will be checked here. Then team, we have like host assessment. It will be just checking well-known vulnerabilities that I've shown you. Like it will be using CVE, it will be using CIS benchmark, right? So it will be doing all these things, right? So let me show you advanced option. So for that, click here. Okay, advanced setup. Click here on advanced setup. Now team, now I have already installed agent, so I'm just unchecking this. Then click here on next. Now team, it is using like these four like best practices, right? So it will be just using all these things to just run for that. So team, now this service will take like 15 minutes to run this. Okay, so how can I just uncheck this? Because like after 7 days it will be running, so I'm just unchecking this option. Okay, okay, so team, what you need to do, you just need to click here on next. Okay, now my assessment is ready to work. For that, click here on create. Now team, this assignment will take at least 15 minutes, okay, for up and running. So what I have done team, I have already just launched. Okay, okay, so it is showing me team, it's already with the same name. Okay, so what I need to do, I just need to change the name. I'm just putting here 123. Okay, then next, just put here like another name 123, then click here on next, and then click here on create. Right team, now this time it has created. Now team, it will take 15 minutes. So what I have done, like I was showing this demo to some other person. Okay, so for that I have done here, right? So today only I have done this assessment at 4:43 p.m. and I have got this report. So team, this will take like around 15 minutes, so we don't have this much time to wait. So for that, what we can do, we can use this download report, and I will show you like how this report look like. Okay, so this report look like this way. See, so if I have gone for like 15 minutes scan, so that's why I'm having only these much ability, like they have scanned only these things. But if you go for like detailed inspection here, that you can mention like 24 hours, then you will be getting a whole book type, right? So team, what I have got in a quick scan, when I have scanned it on like 4 p.m., I have scanned like TCP port 22 SSH is open and is reachable from internet. Then like my RDPs is also open, right? So by this team, like they will be just finding details, they will show all these details here. Now team, what we are going to do, okay, so this is all about vulnerability assessment tool, that is Spectre, right team? Okay, then team, we have something called as AWS config. Okay, so team, what is config? So team, config is just like it helps you with like auditing and recording components of AWS resources, right? And team, the most important work of config is that it helps you to record configuration changes, right? It means that team, if you have made any changes, it will be just replicated here, right? So if you have made any changes, it will be replicated here. Cool team. So today, like I have done something with that. Okay, so now I will show you like how these things are look like. Okay, so like config, like I have just use, this is a role like restricted sh, you can just use any other role. Okay, you just need to create a role. I have just created this rule, so I'm just using this one, right? Okay, just like check which one it is. Okay, so I'm just gonna show you like how it will show like what all configuration it has been changed, right? I'm just selecting rules, this one rules, restricted ssh, then I'm selecting this. Okay, now team, what I'm going to do, I'm just selecting this. Okay, action, and what I'm gonna do, okay, resource timeline. I'm just want to see like what has happened when. Okay, so let me see. Team, like here it is like rules compliance, right? See, like by this way, it will be showing you all these things, right? What all things have been done, right? When it was changed, right? Cool team. So like this is for this person, like we are using config. So is there like any unrestricted SSH access to my security groups? Do my buckets have any public access, right? So all these things will be checked by config, right? Like this is a configuration change. See, like what configuration has changed? Can you see that? First, it was just this for this range, and then it was changed to this range, right? Can you see that? What is the difference? See, like if you're going for logs, like using Cloudtrail or anything, what will happen? They will be just telling you, right? What all things you have done, what all things is left, right? So team, for these things, we are just going for config, right? So if you're using config, so what will happen, team? If you're going for the config, it is really good thing, right? You can just see the configuration changes. If you're going for like API logs, it won't be just help, it won't be just a helpful thing for you, right? So here, if you want to see things in a very detailed manner, then you can go for something called as config, right? So first of all, it was showing you the CI CDR for like this thing, right? Then it has shown you, right, that this was changed to this IP range only. First earlier when it rule was created, it was having a wildcard, and after that it has just we said someone has made changes to this IP range. So team, I think like that's all for today. Thank you team.